Hey guys, so today I'm going to be giving a really quick book rec, and that is for Charlotte Bronte's The Professor. If you watched my previous video, you would have seen that I'm currently reading this book. I just finished it today, and wow, this is such a recommendation, and I'm going to tell you why in this short video. So The Professor is actually Charlotte Bronte's first novel. She wrote it before Jane Eyre, but it wasn't published until after she died in 1857, and it's relatively well known. I had never really heard of it until I stumbled upon it on Amazon, I think, and I just purchased it. But I'm so glad I did. So I don't want to give any spoilers, so I'm just going to give kind of a quick overview of some of the main themes that I picked up during my read and talk a little bit about the characters as well. So this book has some of the classical Victorian themes of industrial capitalism versus aristocracy, the working people versus the elites, and practicality versus intellectualism. But another main theme is the solace of companionship and the beauty of intellectual and romantic intercourse. So when the minds, hearts, and souls of two individuals connect on all of these levels, on the intellectual level and the romantic level. There's a couple in here, William Crimsworth, the main character, and Francis Evan Henry, another main character, who really embody this ideal. And then there's a variety of other relationships that kind of demonstrate the issues when this intellectual and romantic equality is not met and when there isn't a connection formed between the two. This book has some super relatable characters. I mean, I found myself relating to most of the main characters. Even though they're all very distinct, I could relate to something in each of the characters. So for example, William Crimsworth, even though he's a man, he went from being a tradesman to a professor, which I think is really cool. But even though he's a man and some manner of his thinking I can't totally comprehend, his disillusionment with the practical, ordinary life of a work to live and a live to work mentality that he kind of experiences while in the trades of industrial capitalist England, and his desire for a more contemplative existence spent studying and teaching and conversing with like-minded individuals, that's super relatable. Then Francis Evan Henry, who is his pupil at first. Her desire to foster her intellectual life as a woman in 19th century England, Belgium, and to turn it into a career and a long-lasting venture is also very commendable and very relatable. Oopsie, phone ran out of space again. Even the restless skepticism of the troubled, wandering Hudson, who is kind of this character who just randomly comes into William Crimsworth's life and kind of becomes his benefactor, funding him, allowing him to quit his job in the trades and move to Belgium and become a professor and fulfill his dream. Hudson is a complicated character. He pops in and out, he kind of causes a lot of trouble, and he's not very likable, and yet he is somewhat relatable. His searching for answers everywhere, and finding none, his seeking to do good but characteristic vices kind of not allowing him to do that, overtaking him. I think he's a very human character, just his sense of fear of attaching himself to a place or person, his constant restlessness, seeking to understand himself, find his place in the world, seeking to be involved in the world, yet at the same time his philosophy kind of makes it so that you wonder what the purpose of his involvement in the world is, from his perspective, since he doesn't have really any underlying sense of meaning or purpose in his life. So, very interesting characters. I feel like this book is very light academia. It's mostly set in first a girls' boarding school, then later a school that certain individuals set up. It's very intellectual, it's very focused on study, but it's also very down to earth in the sense that it's also about love and relationship and companionship and those very simple, very base human needs. There's also kind of a weird love triangle happening between William Crimsworth and his pupil Francis and this other teacher, but it's kind of interesting the way it plays out. I'll let you read the book to actually figure out how that love triangle kind of works itself out and how the characters grow from those experiences, especially William. And I also like this book because it shows a man who, for his time, I think has a very respectful and progressive view of women. He sees kind of the silliness of the women who are just kind of ornaments to society that are all about their appearance and wealth and that kind of stuff, but you can't even have a conversation with them. They're so uninterested in anything beyond the physical and the superficial. He sees beyond that. He wants a companion who he's able to bind his mind to as well as his heart. And so that's what he's seeking throughout this book. And he has different experiences with different women that kind of show him the value in a woman who is more than just a body, but is also a great mind and a great heart. So highly recommend this book if you've never read it before. And if you guys like these like really short little introduction recommend videos, I think I'm going to keep doing some more because I think they're kind of fun. Let me know, and see you later, guys.